Hey everyone, Mr. Sujano here, your source for gaming, tech, emulation, and open source news. Let's get started. Alright, to kick things off, we're talking about something that seems to be pretty exciting and a lot of people are talking about online, and it's called Unleashed Recompiled. And this is Sonic Unleashed for the PC. It's an unofficial PC port of the game. Now, this isn't just a standard port where the game just works on PC. It's also been enhanced, for example, better resolution and unlocked frame rates. Unleashed Recompiled is 100% open source and on GitHub, and they say it's the unofficial PC port of the Xbox 360 version of Sonic Unleashed, created through the process of static recompilation. The port offers Windows and Linux support with numerous built-in enhancements such as high resolutions, ultra-wide support, high frame rates, improved performance, and modding. It is worth noting that Unleashed Recompilation requires the base game in order to work. If you are curious about this one and wanted to learn more about it, like everything we talk about, link will be in the description below right at the bottom. And there is a whole lot of information available right on the GitHub page. At the time of filming, version 1.0.0 is the latest and greatest release. It's the initial release. And they say here the game will crash on Jungle Joyride Act 1 if you don't have the DLC installed. Some people have asked me if this will be taken down by Sega, and to be honest with you, I don't think Sega can take it down considering it doesn't contain any game assets. To me, it's very similar to the PC ports like Ship of Harkinian, the Ocarina of Time PC ports, that Nintendo hasn't taken down because I don't think they can. Anyways, here, let me know your thoughts about Unleashed Recompiled in the comments below. And continuing to talk about Sega, next up here we're talking about Sega and a very interesting and kind of cryptic tweet. So this is right from the Sega official Twitter account, and if you remember, they did something like this before. They replaced the G with a 6, and it turned out it was an early teaser for Virtua Fighter 6. Anyways, here, this one's a little bit different. They replaced the A with a triangle, and a lot of people are wondering what that triangle is, and a lot of people are saying it might be a brand new Panzer Dragoon. I'm not going to lie here, I am very curious to hear what everyone's thoughts about this are in the comments below. What game do you think this could be? And if it's not Panzer Dragoon, what might it be? Next up here, we're doing a bit of a giveaway, and I'm going to do things a little bit different this time. TechDweeb has no idea I'm doing this, and I'm curious to see what happens when he finds out. Anyways, I'm giving away one copy of Blasphemous to one lucky person. And to enter is pretty simple and straightforward. Just go to TechDweeb's video here for You Already Own the Best Handheld, which is your smartphone, and leave a comment, and you can comment anything, literally anything in the comment section. And all you have to do is just take a screenshot of it and send that screenshot to giveaway@mrsujano.com, and I'll choose one person at complete random in a couple of weeks to win a copy of Blasphemous. Now, if you're wondering why I am doing this, there's three main reasons. First and foremost, giveaways are fun. Secondly here, TechDweeb has been a big supporter of this channel, and this is my way of showing some love. And thirdly here, I think this is a great video. I do think it's worth a watch. So again, this one's simple and straightforward. Head over there, leave a comment on the video, take a screenshot of it, send that screenshot to giveaway@mrsujano.com, and in a couple of weeks I'll choose one lucky winner. You'll have to wait and see on this one, but hopefully if you don't have Blasphemous on Steam, this might be a good opportunity to possibly win a copy of it. Next up, we're talking about Monster Hunter Wilds. Now, we've talked about this game a few times since launch, mainly because of, well, launch issues and, well, previously because of microtransactions. Anyways, here, if you are playing this game, it appears there are some game-breaking bugs, and Capcom is working on them. For example, here is one right here. They say, Hunters, we are currently investigating the following issue. There may be cases where an NPC does not appear, disabling story progression in main mission chapter 5-2 World Turned Upside Down. We are currently working on these issues and will provide further updates when we have them. Unfortunately, there is no fix for this issue just yet, but you may want to pay attention to the Monster Hunter status account for any updates from them directly, because they'll probably fix it hopefully soon. Anyways, there seem to be a number of different issues with the game, and it does seem at least that Capcom is pretty active to try to fix them. And on a side note here, for the previous mission, they're saying that some players have reported that if they've already reached the Hunter rank cap when playing main mission 5-1 Omens, they won't be able to complete the mission, investigate the regions, and raise your HR. However, even if your HR doesn't increase, you can still complete this mission by collecting enough Hunter rank points through completing optional quests. Around 8 quests should be enough, and or side missions, which award a substantial amount of points. We apologize that the mission description was not comprehensive on this occasion. In my opinion here, Monster Hunter should have got a little bit more polished before it was pushed out. I don't necessarily think it was completely ready to be released. But I mean, at the same time, taking a look at the player numbers here, and well, this game seems to be doing just fine. And speaking about stuff releasing, next up here, we're talking about the exact opposite, unreleasing or delisting. We're talking about NSO and Nintendo. And Nintendo has confirmed that it is delisting Super Soccer. Unfortunately, we don't have the clear reasons as to exactly why this is being delisted. Nintendo just says it's being taken down on March 28th. There's a lot of speculation out there, though, that this has to do with licensing, which is super weird considering the game came out back in 1992, and it's not necessarily a top 10 game, I would say. Either way here, it's just, well, it's kind of disappointing to see, and a lot of people don't seem to be too happy about it. I mean, here's one opinion, for example, from someone who has been arguably known for some arguably unhinged tweets in the past. Anyways, they say, and this has been translated so it might not be 100% accurate, "Oi, oi, oi, subscription services really suck, huh? Seriously, bring back the virtual console. Don't be a jerk about it." Let me know your thoughts about this stuff in the comments below. Next up here, this one's just a quick one and a friendly heads up. If you're a fan of Sonic, if you're a fan of the developers of Cluster Truck, I guess if you're a fan of Cluster Truck, if you're a fan of free demos, and if you're a fan of indie games, you may be a fan of this. It's a brand new game called Haste, and there is a free demo available on Steam for it. Unfortunately, I don't know the price or the release date just yet, but the game itself looks fairly interesting. And I mean, I'm assuming it's going to have similar physics to something like Cluster Truck, just possibly at a faster pace. Let me know your thoughts about this one, but it does look pretty cool. And speaking about friendly heads ups, this is again more of just a friendly heads up. We're talking about PlayStation 3 emulation on Android with RPCS3. Now, in a previous video, we mentioned that there was a brand new GitHub repository for RPCS3 Android. And it does seem that work is underway. Unfortunately, here again, I do not have release dates. I don't know when this is going to be released in terms of testing, in terms of actual stable versions, in terms of anything. I don't know what performance is going to look like. I don't know a whole lot just yet. This is one we are going to have to be patient on. But at the same time here, it does seem that this is being looked at and progress is being made, which I would say would be a huge win for RPCS3 on Android. It would be a huge win for Android. But again, be patient with this one. It'll release whenever it's ready, if it does release. And that's the big thing here. I've got no idea if this will actually come to fruition. But as soon as I know more, you'll know more. And again, be patient. Don't harass the developers or anything like that. At the end of the day here, this could be very exciting or it could be a nothing burger. But I mean, it does seem to be active, and I would say that's promising. And speaking about promising, next up here, we're going back a couple of generations and talking about PlayStation 1 emulation. And there's a brand new PlayStation 1 emulator called ScePSX. Now, at this point in time, DuckStation is still probably the best PlayStation 1 emulator out there. But at the same time here, it also isn't bad that there's other PS1 emulators. And here is a brand new one, and well, this one seems to be shaping up okay. Unfortunately, a lot of this stuff is, well, it's not in English, so you will have to use Google Translate if you don't speak this language here, and that may or may not result in some translation issues. So at the time of filming, ScePSX Beta 0.04 is the latest update. And we're going to have to wait and see on how this one actually shapes up overall, but a lot of people seem to be relatively interested in this one. And speaking about stuff that's interesting and people seem to be excited about, next up we're talking about romhack.ing. And it seems that romhack.ing is open to the public. So here's their official announcement. After some rigorous testing and numerous bugs squashed, user registration is now open to the public. Go ahead and register on the site and submit your content to the world. Just like before, we are continuing to be receptive to site feedback and bug reports. Next up, we're talking about Balatro. Now, we talked about Balatro yesterday when there was an unofficial port created for the Nintendo DS. And now there seems to be an unofficial port of Balatro for the PS Vita. This is very interesting, and it's not perfect, but it seems to be getting better. They say it does require the official copy of Balatro in order to work, and there are some known issues. They say flame shader is not working, game runs around 20 frames per second, shaders take a long time to compile, and touchscreen does not work. At the time of filming, version 0.11 is the latest release, and well, with this release, the sound is now working. Next up, we're talking about PlayStation 2 emulation on Windows, Linux, Mac, Android, iOS, and in your browser with Play. Play continues to make strides in leaps and bounds here. Development continues on with this one, and it's now compatible with even more games. And for reference, Play does not require a BIOS file. Little Romente Game has a brand new Patreon post talking about a lot of the testing that's been going on, as well as a lot of the updates. There's been a bunch of bug fixes, optimizations, and performance improvements, and even more here. There's some brand new verified games, including stuff like The Bard's Tale, The Sopranos, Dynasty Tactics 2, and Dragon Quest VIII. While Play isn't necessarily at the compatibility or performance level of something like PCSX 2, at the same time here, Play keeps making improvements in leaps and bounds. And I am very excited about the future of Play. And last up here, we're talking about Nintendo 3DS emulation with Azahar, or subscribe to Mr. Sujano, depending on how you wanted to pronounce that. Anyways, here it seems that there are some fake websites for Azahar out there, and they're trying to alert people that there is only one, and that's azahar-emu.org. Now, we've seen this before in the past with stuff like AetherSX2, DuckStation, and a whole bunch of others. It just seems there's a whole bunch of fake emulator websites out there trying to dupe people into downloading malware. For example, they point out this website here, which does seem to be an Azahar website. It's azahar-emulator.org. Taking a look here, they've got a blog post talking about the collaboration between Lime 3DS and Pablo MK7's Citra fork. There's a link to a GitHub, a link to a Discord, and obviously the link to their blog. The Azahar team has no idea who's behind this website, and they say it's completely unofficial and avoided at all costs, especially if you're looking to download their emulator. We'll have to wait and see what happens with this website, but there's probably going to be other ones that spring up as well. It's just worthwhile to be very careful about this stuff. But anyways, that is all I've got for you in this one. Straight to the point, all stuff and the legendary One Fluff. She came down, she wanted some attention, so, well, here she is. Now, my pneumonia is still, I'm still under the weather, but I'm getting a lot better. I'm feeling a lot better, just a little bit winded. We talked about a bunch today. Feel free to discuss anything we talked about in the comments below. If you like this video, leave a like. If you didn't like this video, leave a like. Hit that subscribe button. Check out my other videos. Don't tempt fate. Save your state, and I'll see you tomorrow.